Juicing and using it. Okay, let's get it. Hello, lovers, and welcome back to Starring Cupid Spooky Special, starring me. It's your boy, X, nothing more, nothing less, from the east, not the west. Give a bitch a hex. We have returned. We have arrived for another episode from our spooky special. I'm back at it, and this time we're discussing 3 particular things that I love. I love these things. It's animation, it's a musical, and it's about Halloween. We're talking about none other than Sally and Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh my goodness, what a film, what a time, what a bunch of characters. It's funny that I put this movie on here because there's kind of this online debate, one would say, that's been going on for quite some time about whether or not this is a Christmas or a Halloween film. Personally, lovers, my take on the matter is that I simply agree. It's the perfect film for either season. It covers both seasons. If you don't believe it, you should try it out. You won't regret watching this. It's lovely. This is one of those films that I wish I had seen it earlier. I only saw it when I was like well into high school, and it has this wonderful charm about it. It's fantastically done. It's a classic Halloween / Christmas film. Luckily for me, we have an adorable romantic pairing in this, so I can make a whole episode based on them. So shouts to them for giving me content to create on. I must warn you beforehand, and also warn like the Disney goons if they're listening. If you hear me burst into song, like just randomly at any point, please remember that I am sensitive. Please, like, in your comments, just be like really nice to me or whatever, or just like close your eyes and your ears, child, and just look away. Either or, just understand that this is a musical. I love musicals. I might just sing, but forget all about that. Let's not waste any more of your time. This is This is Sally and Jack. This film was directed by Henry Selick in 1993. Selick is behind huge hits, especially like in the animated world. Huge hits like Coraline, Moon Girl, and James and the Giant Peach, to name a few. But I have to take a moment to talk about Coraline because that is one of the scariest animated movies I have ever seen, but I watch it every single chance I get. It's bloody brilliant. Coraline is great. They recently did a Lessons from the Screenplay episode on Coraline, and I'm so excited because it's really great. It really encompasses everything that I'm about to talk about in this film, but it is genuinely terrifying, some of it. But yeah, if you haven't, check out Coraline. Wonderful. And then this is so funny. We've got Caroline Thompson, who does the screenplay. The screenplay was adapted from books by Michael McDowell. She also has her hand in the spooky parts. She is behind some also really dope, spooky, but like kid-friendly films. She did Edward Scissorhands. kid friendly. I don't know, but anyway, she did Edward Scissorhands, The Addams Family Values, The Corpse Bride, and many more. She's also the same way. It felt like Selick kind of knows how to do this vibe very well. I think through her writing, she's also got her hand safely on this. She's tapped it down. I don't know what to say. She's tapped it down. Like, she can clearly write us a good, spooky but kid-friendly story. And I appreciate her work, and I appreciate how the two of them came together on this one. It really came out well. The result is wonderful. It's this lovely film that we have. I want to mention Tim Burton because the animation style and like the characters are linked to him, but also he apparently doesn't value black people, so I'm gonna just move along from that. A major thing that I enjoyed about this is that it's not just regular animation but stop motion animation. It's really just like a I don't want to say sub level because okay, animation kind of stems from stop motion animation anyway. I guess like the first few animated films were essentially stop motion, and it as an entire genre is amazing. I like animation in all the forms that it comes to me in, as long as the story bangs. It's all lovely, it's all impressive to me. There's just something super impressive about stop motion animated movie stuff. Like going beyond the physical labor behind the movement of the people and the characters and everything. Like I understand how many hands are involved. I understand how many hours are involved. So something that has so much labor behind it surely will produce something good. I understand that. But if you put that to the side, I also just feel like stop motion animated films are really just top-notch films. You know, like some of the stop motion movies that I've seen are kind of like the best animated movies I've seen. Maybe I'm just very, very biased. Maybe I'm biased because I really appreciate and like how much work goes into it. I don't know. I know how I feel, and I feel like stop motion is my favorite type of animation because it is. Moving on to the nerdy stuff, we have our voice cast, and leading us from the shadows the whole movie as our lovely Sally, we have the iconic Catherine O'Hara. Guys, Catherine O'Hara. If you're new here or you haven't listened to the Schitt's Creek episode that I did, you won't fully understand how much I love this lady. I cannot go into how much I love this lady right now, like for time purposes, but I will summarize by saying her career pleases me greatly. She is a lovely actress. She's hilarious. She's been in Schitt's Creek, like I said. She's been the mom in the Home Alone movies, Beetlejuice. Her career is longer than I'm making it, but just know that she's a really hilarious lady and she's really good at what she does. I like her. I like her a lot. Then we have Danny Elfman as Jack Skellington when he sings. Specifically when he sings. It's kind of like a Zac Efron, Troy Bolton situation in this, where the person that acts as Jack doesn't sing like Jack. But I wanted to mention Danny Elfman because if you've never seen him, then you've probably heard his work, because he has composed scores for really huge films. He scored for Spy Kids, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Men in Black 3. Avengers, Age of Ultron. Like the list, I tried to take like the big names or like the things that people would like recognize. The list is endless, literally endless. He's clearly renowned and good at what he's doing. My personal favorite project of his has to be on Meet the Robinsons. Super, super, super cute movie about like the future. It's so, you know, when a movie's not necessarily good, but it just makes you feel good. I think that's Meet the Robinsons for me. I love it so much. I like to watch it, and it'll just lift my spirits. You know, hashtag keep on trying. So any man that is behind a movie like that is legendary in my eyes, or like just deserving of my respect. Yeah, I didn't even know he could sing, but he sings quite well in this. I think he sings quite well in this. And obviously for his speaking parts, we have Chris Sarandon. Sorry, I didn't think that I would say that fast. The rest of the voice cast, they're good. They're great at sounding like spooky, and they just sound like ghouls, and people that are meant to sound like ghosts, they sound like ghosts, you know what I mean? Varying degrees of good and bad, but still worth mentioning. If you have never seen this film, I highly recommend it. You have to see it. The only way you will not enjoy this is if you're one of those people that think they're too grown to watch animation. Oh, I don't know. Or even worse, or you're the soulless people that hate musicals. Oh gosh. And unless you're one of those people, you'll enjoy this. There's nothing to dislike about this movie. However, if you do not recall what happens, here is a summary. After growing tired of being the king of Halloween, Jack Skellington attempts to recreate Christmas in his own way. Chaos and confusion follow as Jack delivers this version to the rest of the world. Spoiler alert, there will be spoilers ahead. Singing alert, there will be songs up ahead. Again, Disney Goons, I'm so sorry. At least shoot me an email before you take this episode down so that I could prepare myself. But it has to happen. It will. I don't doubt it. More importantly, above all else, I get to analyze what I think is a very understated part of the story, a part that maybe rightfully so kids don't really care about, but I think these two, there's something about them that makes them really cute and really adorable, and I'm glad I get to talk about them. So here are Sally and Jack. First and foremost, I want to just mention right off the bat that Sally is my queen in this movie. She does this super relatable thing in this movie that just made me love her immediately. Sally spends like a good part of the beginning just secretly crushing on this cool cat named Jack, and she is head over heels essentially. We gather that she's head over heels because the effort, guys. She watches and she waits with the crowds. She makes him secret gifts. Like, yo guys, Sally wanted him. She was just very determined, but also very nervous, I guess, to like actually say the words. And honestly, queen, I get it, honestly, and understood. But it's not like she was moving in silence, it felt like she was doing a lot to try and get his attention. And what did he do? Did he not completely ignore every single sign my girl was throwing? Every single sign, everything she was trying to do to like show up for him, he was just kind of like okay, and then he'd like move on into this. He was in, okay, fine, granted, a boy Jack, he was having what one would call an identity crisis at the time that all of this was happening. It's hard to, I guess, notice things that are happening around you when at home but like in your heart things aren't settled. I get that. I really do get that. But I don't know, man. I just wish that he had tried harder. But for something that kind of normal, I guess, like even in a story about something like Halloween, you get this normal thing where there's this girl, there's this unrequited love, but she's trying really hard, and my man's not seeing it. I think that I found that very like relatable and very adorable. Sad, but like it's I get it. And then we get the king of Halloween. It's Mr. J. Skellington himself. I used to think this dude was so cool when I first watched this. Like I like how they introduce him the way that they do. He gives off this kind of life of the party personality. Actually, guys, Jack Skellington reminds me of Jake Gatsby if he wasn't in love, you know what I mean? Like he has that energy of just being like, hey, let's go. But then also, man was secretly sad. Like Jack was going through it at the time. He was just like sick of it all. He was done with Halloween. I don't even know how you could do that, but I think that's actually a wonderful lesson to children about getting lost in your own source. Like sometimes it gets too much even for you. It's a good lesson to learn while young. Anyway, so we have this guy, this Jake Gatsby guy, that's kind of going through this thing, this identity crisis is what I want to call it. So he's in despair. He's not really at his best, and when characters are low like that and characters are going through it like that, they tend to not, like I said, they tend to not see what's happening. They tend to miss the signs. Yeah, I mean, Sally, at some point, Sally was following him around. It's hard to believe that he didn't just feel like another pair of eyes on him, you know what I mean? It's just, but still, guys, it's hard to miss the signs. It's hard. It's difficult when you're deeply sad within. It's hard to miss the signs. I mean, it's easy to miss the signs, wow. But we as the audience, we forgive him because we're not here for the romance, because it's an animation movie. Like most people don't want kids to come there for the romance, but also just like story-wise, that's not why we're here. So we try to like kind of push it aside. Like lots of things were happening also, so it's fair to kind of forget or to not put our focus that much on it all the time, because shit's constantly happening. Jack hijacks a holiday, Sally drugs her captive creator, and these 3 demonic children kidnap Santa Claus. Like shit is happening. And in that time, we see a lot of moments where Sally is basically just there to help Jack. She kind of, after the little stalking episode, she kind of gets, I want to say a vision. But she gets a vision that, no man, something's up. But even when she gets that vision and she tries to warn Jack, she's still very actively helping him in his plans. When they have the Operation Christmas Takeover and it's being planned out and Jack is like calling on everyone to help him in different ways, he specifically calls for Sally to do his costume, and that was kind of like really thoughtful of him, kind of to just specifically seek her out to do this thing. I do think it's a little hilarious that Sally can sew, purely based off the fact that she can sew her limbs back on. Like kind of like, oh well, if she can do that, then surely like garments are nothing to her. But yeah, it feels like Sally was there just constantly warning him or constantly aiding him in any way that he needed, even when he wasn't there to be the one that was saved. Even when she was saving Santa Claus, it was still kind of her helping Jack. Now, this is cute, but it also irritates me because she was doing the savior love interest thing. They made her like the savior love interest character. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's possibly because you don't understand my choice of words. You see, because savior love interests are commonly referred to as Captain Save-A-Hose. Different names, very different names, but similar, almost identical function in the story. You will see that in most male-led films, they have this kind of format where you'll have like a man that's in crisis or despair, and he falls for this woman that maybe he had previously ignored, maybe he just met her, but like this woman's role in his life is to just aid him. She just constantly aids him in whatever that he may need, and I guess kind of like the reward for all this aid to her is a romantic relationship that will probably only show up at the end. It's unfortunately another one of those staples in the rom-com genre, even in like other genres where they try to put romantic pairings and they just give it this. I really wish we would like get rid of this thing, like down with this sort of thing, but here it is what it is. And the sad part of the savior love interest is it's mostly unrequited love for majority of the film, and maybe they only get what they want, in inverted commas. Maybe they only get what they want right at the end, where the protagonist kind of the protagonist will always, like, something will happen, and then it's almost like they get this new perspective, and they'll look at the savior love interest and they'll be like, hey, I should be with you. It's a light bulb moment, but it's so irritating because it's like your light bulb moment is what I've been waiting for, like what I've been working towards. Guys, like Sally did so many dangerous things for this man, to aid this man. She nearly was taken apart when she was trying to save Santa Claus, all in the name of this dude. No, man, as overdone as this thing is, I didn't hate it here. Like, it's truly unbearable when it's real life people. It's truly, truly unbearable. It's a little unbearable when it's in animated movies too. I think the difference here is that Jack Skellington. Jack Skellington is the difference. His entire character, his charm, and kind of maybe the genuine fascination he has with Christmas, they all add up, and they make us as the audience, they make us less mad at him, or less more empathetic towards him. We understand that no, man, this man had no bad intentions, or he wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He just really wanted to try out this holiday, and you kind of go, you can't hate a man like that. It's the things that make us not too mad at him are the same thing that makes Sally like him, and it makes him just simply lovely to all of us. Guys, no, like, how can you be upset at him after he sings that song? What's this? That whole song is just genuine, cheerful happiness, genuine fascination. It's so cute. It's so very adorable. And I think by making it like that, by making Jack so lovable and so worth us liking him, it kind of made it easier for us to except that Sally is just sitting here waiting for this person that won't see her until he eventually does, and then we get what we get. Like, regardless of how long it took, their inevitable union, it just wraps the whole story up very nicely. It ends off everything in a heartwarming way. That final shot where like their silhouettes are like in the moonlight and they're together is just, it's a moment. It's very cute. It's a moment. I said earlier that savior love interests only get to receive the love at the end. Literally, I think it's the latest it could possibly be in this movie. Like Jack has his first real convoy moment about Sally maybe 5 minutes before the movie ends. It's the latest convoy moment I've ever seen, and Jack has it 5 minutes before the movie ends. Wow. It doesn't, all these cute things that I'm talking about, they don't really make up for how long it took for them to get where they are. However, there's ways this could have been done badly. There's ways this could have ended badly. I appreciate how it ended. Likes and dislikes time. I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot to hate about this. There's not a lot. I was 17 years old when I watched this for the first time, and it literally felt perfect. I was like, wow, this is fantastic, oh my gosh. I wish that I had watched it maybe in like grade 3 or grade 4. Maybe like watching it with primary school vision and like that kind of mind that I had when I was in grade 3 about movies. It would have been nicer, but I think it would have had the same effect on me. I think it would have been as fantastic as I think it is at any time. I will, however, try to say something on the dislike side. So for now, likes. I've spoken about the animation style, maybe not at great length, but for quite some time. And I want to add on by saying that I love the design of the characters. The way they were animated and how it translated to their, like, because you know how when they do stop motion they have to make models of the characters and then they have to move them around. So I like how they made the models. Yeah. If I was told about Jack Skellington, I would have no idea how I want him to look. Like, there's no look for the king of Halloween, but the way they did Jack looks like he's the king of Halloween. It matches his personality, it matches his position, it matches everything. And yeah, everyone for that matter, they were kind of designed quite well. So for that, love it. They aren't scary, so to speak, but they all feel like Halloween, and I appreciate that. I really liked the songs. Oh my goodness. Fun fact about me, if you haven't guessed it by now, I am a whore for musicals. I love musicals. Love it when people break out into song. There's just something about singing songs that follow the narrative of the story that gets to me. Really, so the songs on here were wonderful. They are festive and they are light, and even when they're kind of sad, they're not as sad. You know what I mean? I hear This Is Halloween and literally my mood elevates. I feel lighter and happier than I've ever been when I'm singing that song. They're singing about lurking under people's beds and like scaring children, and I'm here hitting the MIDI rock in my chair because this is Halloween. It slaps. If you haven't watched it, when you get to that song, I think it's the first song they sing. Perfect opening. Love it. I really liked the story as a whole. I'm sure that when like children were watching this, they weren't too concerned about like fresh ideas or not. Actually, children's movies have some of the freshest concepts because, and I think it's purely based on the fact that because children don't care, but also children have the imagination to kind of just accept anything and take anything. Like there's too many boundaries for like grown adults between what makes them enjoy something and enjoy watching something and what makes them hate watching something. You know what I mean? Like children will kind of accept anything. And usually what they love is things that are outside of the typical. And I like that this is way outside of the typical. Okay, like listen to this as an idea. Someone kidnapping Santa Claus to steal the holiday so he can try it out. That's hilarious. It's hilarious, and it gives you so many opportunities to just write a really brilliant story. And I'm glad that the story, the animation, the work from the voice cast, and like the songs, I like that they all kind of came together to make this what it is. It's brilliant. It's, as a concept, it's brilliant. It is chaotic from what happens after they take Santa. I was gonna say my favorite part is it's not. I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't. It's a bit sadistic that I laugh, but I love the part where the children are receiving their gifts after Jack goes out for his first night as Santa, and the kids are waiting for the trees and they're receiving their gifts, and it's just these horrible things. It's just the worst. It's just little horrors instead of gifts, and these kids are crying. These kids are crying and running and screaming, and their parents are running and screaming. Oh my goodness. If you ever wanted to know what would happen if someone hijacked Christmas from Santa Claus, love it. No man, I really do love it. Dislikes. Not to play the bad guy, Chun-Li, but why didn't Jack just ask Santa if he could help out instead of... Listen, I understand that I just said that the concept makes for a brilliant film. I really do, I understand. But I just feel like Jack didn't have to steal Christmas. He didn't have to steal Christmas, guys. He honestly could have gone to Christmas Town and knocked on Santa's door and be like, listen, I want to collaborate. Like anything was better than this coup, essentially. Guys, when you're stuffing Santa Claus into a bag, is there no part of you that's like kind of worrying by, no man, I've gone too far for this? Like surely there's a limit. And Jack was like, nah, I see no issue with this, and for that I still kind of love him. He's brilliant. King of Halloween. We've reached the end of the show. And once again, I must remind you that there is no Who's Your Fave battle because I am lazy, haha. But I still wanted to use the segment for like interaction and for cute things and fun things. And one of those fun things is suggestions. Yes, suggestions, as if I don't give you any of those. I think that if you're one of those people that really enjoy this film, or you want films along this way, I think that there are options. I wanted to give you guys options to kind of either watch alone, or for those of you that are currently living with like younger people, you could involve them in these movies. They're not, I promise that they're not terrifying. Like, hopefully children will not be going to bed crying and screaming. Like, I don't think they're that bad, but they do have a similar vibe. And I think that if you guys appreciate kind of stop motion spooky films like I do, then these are the movies for you. We have Corpse Bride, which was mentioned above, also spooky, also brilliant, more dark, I would say, because like the subject matter is really about the death of this young woman. And but they're singing, wonderful character design again. And I think it was based off a Russian folklore, and that should just say all it needs to say. So yeah, Corpse Bride, really great. Should be on streaming platforms. I think I saw it on Showmax, not too certain. Next, we have Coraline, another classic, another spooky season classic for me. It's less dark than Corpse Bride in terms of it's not about death, but I don't think it's lighter than Corpse Bride at all. This one's great though. It's a wonderful story, wonderful characters again. Kind of a nice pacing film. Like, things happen, but gradually gets a bit weird. So, but it's also quite funny. I also find Coraline quite funny. So if you're in the mood for something a bit more on the creepier side of the spectrum, Coraline is your movie. Go ahead and watch Coraline. And then last but not least, we have Paranorman, which is so cute. I don't even think it's even a little scary, this movie, but I do enjoy it because it's basically it's based on zombies that come back to life down in this small town. And this young boy named Norman, he kind of has to band together with his friend and his sister to try and save the entire town. The comedy in this is like, it's not laughing every minute, but you will definitely giggle and chuckle here and there. It's really lovely. All of these are really lovely for like yourself, for you, and a younger person who's just in the house and you want to entertain. Try them out. Tell me how you feel about them if you've seen them. Give us your own like kid-friendly spooky suggestions if you have any. And thank you again so much for supporting us, for listening to us, for being with us on the spooky special. Part 3 and 4 are coming swiftly. I can't believe spooky season is coming to an end, but we're gonna go out in style. I shall see you on an episode quite like this one. I'm so sorry that I'm talking in an accent. I've been watching way too much of The Crown. I shall see you. I bid you farewell. Bye.